Good morning and welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. Today is March the 26th and we're going to do a magic picture changer using the Wish Upon a Star stamp set. This card did not go very smoothly for me. I will be really honest with you. I used some like scrap paper, just inexpensive. I call it scrap paper, but it's just inexpensive cardstock that I picked up, like at a local craft store or something, and made one just so I knew how it went together. And it went together really, really quickly and really nice, and I was really impressed by it. You see me really quickly while I'm talking about this. You see me that I put 4 little dots in the corners, and that's because I didn't know where the image would stop being seen in the little square. So I would recommend putting just 4 little dots in the corners for both of the dies, just so that you don't go outside of it with your stamping and you don't have to go overboard with your coloring or anything like that. Also, on the front panel, which is the one that I'm stamping now, unless you have the accessory die that goes with this, the die set that is like the cover plate and a different pull tab top, then you'll need to do this so that you don't go outside of the changer area and you don't go so far that the frame won't cover it up. Because like if you're doing ink blending or something on this background, you're gonna need to know where to stop and start your ink blending, but you're also gonna need to know where the image is actually going to show up in that square. So just be cautious of that when you're ink blending, because you're not going to have anything to cover it up unless you do some creative cutting, which is what I did in the end. I did use my MISTI stamping tool so that I could get a good impression with these stamps. For some reason, the Wish on the front wouldn't stamp very clearly, and I knew I was going to have to stamp it a couple times even after I conditioned it and that kind of thing. It was just one of those things that the stamp is going to take a little bit longer to condition than normally. No big deal. So I stamped everything down, and the trouble that I had in the end of the card was evidently that I ended up ripping one of the slider portions and it stuck. When that happens, don't give up on the card. Just very, very carefully take it apart, use like a pen knife on an X-Acto blade and slit it back open and pull it apart and then go for it, because that's exactly what I did, and I still have a perfectly good card. Don't toss it just because something broke on it. I actually pulled the pieces apart and put washi tape on those areas that either tore or were weak and put it back together, and it works beautifully now. So in Lawn Fawn's video, they recommend using your anti-static powder tool to eliminate some of the friction that the card creates when you slide it back and forth. I definitely recommend doing that. Also, when you go to put the card together to create the channel on both sides, before you take the release paper off of the top, put anti-static powder tool on the edges of that, because I think that's what happened, is that I have 1/8 inch double-sided adhesive from scrapbook.com, and I think a little tiny bit of it got off of the track itself at the top, and I think that's what happened, is it caught my slider mechanism. But just know that you can salvage any project. You just have to have a little bit of patience and a pen knife. So I will link to all the products that I used below. I kept this card super, super simple so that the star of the show would actually be the picture changer mechanism here. And here are the 2 images side by side, little bunny and little fox. And I also used 2 products that I hadn't used in a while. One was a Aqua Shimmer, not an Aqua Shimmer pen, that's a different brand. Spectrum Noir shimmer pen. in yellow, and I filled the stars in on the upon a star part, and it was amazing. It's so shiny in real life. It is so sparkly that they look like they're stars. I didn't do any ink blending in the background of this. I just literally colored in the images and then used pattern paper to spice up the card so that it would just kind of stand out all on its own, and you could see how this goes together. I also did not zoom out when I was putting this together, but everything is still in frame for the most part, so you can still see it. And I can walk you through my do this, don't do this part. Also on the Wish, I used a glaze pen, which I had not done in a long time, and I had forgotten that it was in my stash. And I am going to be using that again more often because it's absolutely fantastic. I wanted the Wish to be a little shiny, but the only way that I was thinking, well, I can't use embossing powder on it because then it will mess up with the mechanism and it won't work. But with a glaze pen, it gives you just that hint of shine on the front of it, and unfortunately you can't really see it on the video, but you can see it in real life, and it is very, very pretty. It gives that just that little bit of shine that you need. So you line up your images. Some things are going to be a little off center just because this thing is a little off center sometimes. It just kind of looks a little off center. I tape everything down with some washi tape so that I make sure that everything is in frame like it should be. And I'll run this through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. I am using, as I mentioned before, scrapbook.com's 1/8" double-sided adhesive. It's really, really, really inexpensive over there, and it's good stuff. It tears easy. It's you can get it in a great big huge pack of like 4 or 5 rolls for next to nothing. They also have the 6-inch wide and 4-inch wide and 1/4 inch tape, and it's endless. Head over to scrapbook.com. I'll leave the links below so you can check that out. It's a scrapbook.com exclusive, and it is amazing stuff. I really truly do like it, especially the 6-inch wide one, because you can use that just like you would stick it, but it's so much less expensive, but it's the same kind of stuff, and it's really thin, so you can die cut through it too. So just keep that in mind for your next project or when you need some double-sided adhesive. I'm just erasing the little pencil marks that I have here, and I don't know if you noticed or not, I was using an actual pencil, not like a mechanical pencil. And the pencils that I have, I don't care how light I draw with them or mark with them, they leave a mark. So it is what it is. You can't see it in the end. So fold over the front pocket and use your bone folder to go ahead and score that really well. On the channels on the side, start in the middle and work your way out. Be gentle at first and then more firmly press. Then use your bone folder to flatten it out. I literally will take my bone folder, as you see here, and press it over on the big long side of my bone folder, and it allows me to lay those things down with the sides down on those itty bitty little things without bending them the wrong way or in the wrong place. So you're going to put 1/8" score tape on the inside and on the outside of the little tabs here, and that's why 1/8" score tape is amazing. So go ahead and put that in, and you're going to fold that into itself in just a moment. Put it on the outside and on the inside. And I turned this over because if I had just folded this in and done it, I would have messed something up. So I just don't do that. I just flip everything around and do what I need to do. And I sound really stopped up this morning. I am so sorry. I've drank my coffee and everything. It just doesn't want to work. So you take off the score tape on the score tape. You take off the adhesive backing on the front and fold it over. Start in the middle and smooth out like you see me doing here. And works beautifully. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Put your mechanism in the slot, and then you are going to put the tabs on the front into the tab in slots in the back. Start at the bottom and work your way up. It's 4 tabs on the front panel, on the the inserted panel, and it's 4 slots on the back. Really easy. Literally just push them through. Make sure that your slider mechanism isn't touching anywhere, and close it up. I should have used anti-static powder tool on the inside there, and I didn't, and I believe that's what tore my project there. So now I cut out a lot of this because it was just me die cutting a whole lot of stuff. I did a card base and just a cute stitched rectangle of patterned paper. This is from the spring collection from Lawn Fawn, and then I attached this to the front of the card, and it works beautifully. Please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Head over to my blog, JillCameronCreations.com, and subscribe to my newsletter for updates. I'm actually going to be working on some more projects that are not just cards, but mixed media projects and such. And I hope to see you soon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a great one.